our future. Start taking pictures.
Last year I made a list of a few random games that I played throughout the year and really enjoyed. I liked promoting these titles, so here's my list for this year. Most of these have been out for a while, but for one reason or another, I finally got around to trying them this year and thought that they were absolutely worth a look. If you're used to playing AAA games, the Battlefields, the Call of Duties, and the Assassin's Creed of the gaming world, take a break and look into the AA and indie games. There's plenty of really amazing titles that are definitely worth playing. Now, really quick, these are games that I picked from my Steam library and played this year. They don't have to be released this year to make the list. First, I want to start with a couple of stocking stuffers. Little Inferno was originally a mobile game, but was brought to Steam. It's a simple, amusing game where you burn stuff and are slowly introduced to a dystopian world. It's a very short game, but I found it funny and entertaining, and the brevity means it doesn't overstay its welcome. Coney Island is another relatively brief, simple game, but beneath the simplified graphics and gameplay, it's a solid game with twists and turns around every corner. I don't want to give away too much, the video I'm showing now may already be doing that to an extent, but don't turn this game down simply because you think it's too simple or too easy or too simple graphically. There's a lot more here than it seems. Alright, now for the official list. To start, we have The Swapper. If you're into puzzle platformers, this is right up your alley. Your character has a clone creation gun that you use to solve puzzles and get through difficult scenarios. It's a cool mechanic, and the game possesses enough scenarios to make the puzzles fresh and interesting. There's a basic story, but it's not extremely intricate, so try this game for the puzzle elements, but don't expect any depth to the characters. Another puzzle game is the Talos Principle. This is a first-person puzzle game with an interesting story. The game has some extremely religious undertones to it, something that strikes home for me. It can feel a little bit irreverent at times, but if you're the kind of person that's willing to consider and question the ideas of faith, God, and prophecy, it's filled with potentially earth-shattering ideas and notions.
What changed? Did we really fight for the same cause?
Next is 1979 Revolution Black Friday. It's a complicated name, but a complicated game. I love games that pick real events and locations that aren't in the typical list of countries. There are so many stories we tell about America and the Western European countries, but so few about the rest of the world. 1979 Revolution is a Telltale-like game that focuses on the Iranian Revolution. The gameplay isn't as smooth as what I'd come to expect from a Telltale game, but the subject matter is powerful. The game includes real photographs and is based on real stories that happened during the Iranian Revolution. This is a game about an event that has a dramatic effect on modern foreign policy and the entire Middle East. I cannot recommend this game strongly enough for that. If you're into RPGs, Shadowrun Hong Kong is a great one. I've played 4 Shadowrun games so far, and all of them are excellent. This one continues with the mechanics and basic elements set forth in the previous games, but with its own story and characters. If you've seen the trailers for the upcoming Netflix movie Bright, I highly recommend spending some time in the Shadowrun universe before you watch it. Bright seems to borrow liberally from the Shadowrun series in a good way. If you're interested in Bright, definitely check out Shadowrun Hong Kong. And finally, I have the Blackguards game. This is another turn-based strategy game, but unlike XCOM, where the game is more about the scenarios and less about the story, this is a game where you're guiding named characters through some interesting story elements. I really liked the second game in particular, which felt more focused and had an extremely compelling main character. One thing I found especially interesting was the game's choices weren't as obvious and ham-fisted as they are in most RPGs. Instead of making decisions in conversations, you're making decisions in combat. Your actions in battle can affect the way that people see and react to you. If you like RPGs or strategy games, give the Blackguards games a try.
Such pleasure.
Alright, that's it for this year. I'm going to take a break for Christmas and New Year's. When I come back, I'll have a slew of new games to review, so look for that coming quickly in 2018. Merry Christmas, everyone.